Let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to SADPP, the South American Dota Pro Podcast, episode number 3. Today, we've got another great episode coming up. We've got Costabile from Team SG Esports. We're going to be talking a lot of Brazil action, SA Dota, give you a little recap of week 2. And, of course, we've got Bowie back with us. Costabile, thank you so much for making time, man. Appreciate you coming on the show to chat with us.
Yeah, no problem. Pleasure to be here.
Dope.
So, yeah, how are you, man? How you feeling? How's the SA DPC been treating you so far?
Well, obviously, I'm pretty sad because we lost pretty badly yesterday. It was like not even close. It was especially sad because we had a lot of scrims and training during the week, and it seems like everything went to waste because like we couldn't put in practice what we learned and what we studied. But like it's a long tournament, so we should just focus on the nets and forget about yesterday.
Yeah. Definitely. We did want to ask you about that series a little bit, so maybe that is a good starter. I guess to speak to that a little more, what happened? What prevented you guys from being able to execute everything that you had planned out?
Yeah, I think like there's a problem with our teams that you see this lot of teams have this way of playing Dota. Like when OG won 2 TIs, everyone knew what they're gonna pick. Everyone knew they're gonna pick IO, HC, or whatever, and they still couldn't beat it, right? Like they just have their own play style, so it's easier to play for them. Obviously, it's like more complicated because there's a lot of heroes, but they have like a certain play style that makes the game easier for them because they have to follow always kinda the same plan. And in SA, it kinda happens with Biscos. Like Biscos is not the same way they play. They don't play one way every game, but it's really similar every game. Like they have this certain strategy that K1's gonna farm or the other's gonna make space, so it's just easier to replicate during a number of games. I think a problem with our team that we couldn't still find is that we have studied a lot of like gameplays from Secret OG, and we try to like kind of to imitate or do it our way, but it's so different so many times that we kind of get lost. So like when we first pick OD, is a different game plan, and like in different way playing Dota than when we like first pick Bat. So each changes every game.
I see.
I don't know if it's clear, but and we're
No, I
still
get it.
trying to figure it out. But yeah, I think we can do it. It's just like we kind of lost to ourselves more than we lost to the other thing, I think.
Yeah, I guess to add to that question, how long did you guys play before the DPC? Like for how long were you together until SG picked you guys up?
We were playing since like the beginning of 2020. But we were with Tavo and Telecor.
Oh yeah.
On No Ping Esports, and then was the last LAN event before COVID. Was the minor in Kiev, so we played in Kiev, and we came back, and soon the pandemic
that's true.
started, right? And there's a lot of online tournaments, and eventually you change players because people were not feeling motivated to play. So Tio left, and we had Francis Lee, the Flea.
Yeah.
And we played with Flea a long time, and eventually Tavo left too, and we started playing with King RD. But when the DPC was announced and everyone's coming back to play, we decided to come back with Tio because we felt it was easier to like communicate 5 people speaking Portuguese rather than like 4 Portuguese and 1 English. So everyone is speaking English. Just like Francis is a great player, but we felt like we were just kind of making things harder for us
I
to
see.
speak English. And yeah, so we came back with King RD and Tio. So it's pretty much like 1 year, 1 and a half playing.
Okay. Yeah, that communication has to be rough. Where it's like you guys can speak English, but it's just slower. It's not natural. You have to think about it instead of being able to just talk and then spend all that brain power on Dota, I guess, right?
Yeah, I think it depends like on on person to person, because like some players can speak. I play in N18s before, like especially Demon Slayers. I was the only Portuguese speaker there, and I spoke English. I sure didn't speak like more than I used to in Portuguese, but like it felt more natural. But with some people, it's not easy. So like it's not worth it, you know. If
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
it's making things hard for yourself. So
Mhm.
yeah.
Do you guys have a coach right now?
I'll have Max. He's the Dota app creator, and he
Yeah,
helps us. Yeah, he helps
the
us with the
Is
the
he
drafts and stats.
is he North American? Is it that Mags?
Yeah, stat Max.
Oh,
Yeah,
holy shit. Yeah, I'm looking at his Twitter right now. Analyst at SG Esports BR. Wow.
yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know that Mags was doing coaching and analyst work. That's badass, dude. So how's it
Yeah.
going? How is Mags? Is he good? Is he bad? Give me the honest assessment here.
Yeah, he's very positive. The best thing about him, and he's very hardworking. Like we don't have this, like he's not here with us in Fortaleza, obviously, because he couldn't fly, and he's like not a full-time coach, I think, because he doesn't like teach us and give us voice after every game, but like he helps us, he watches every game and he records the audios of our screens and whatever, and give us stats, and he's always speaking with us. So like he's not
Wow.
like the ordinary coach, full-time coach, but like he's always
Mhm.
helping us.
I see.
That's pretty cool. How, if you don't mind me asking, how did that relationship come about? Did you reach out to him? Did he reach out to you? Like how did you guys get in touch?
It's because Max is a really close friend to Francis, recently,
Oh,
and when Flea joined, he joined too, and even though Francis left, he stayed with us
Okay.
and is still helping us. Yeah, he's a really good guy, so
Wow.
he's really easy to get along with him.
That's really cool though, because we often talk about, like, in a general nature, how good it is for SA just to start getting some of this cross pollination, players from other regions coming in, getting to scrim with other regions, and how over time that has an aggregate effect. And this is just a cool example of like the lingering kind of drip effect. You brought in an NA player, he brought in this analyst that he liked, the player leaves, the analyst sticks around. Like that's very cool to me to hear that there's some of that cross pollination and that it's been successful. That's fucking awesome, man.
Yeah, I think it's becoming more common, like along the years. Like there's no Dota is not region locked. You see EG has like one SAA player. They have EU players, they have NA players, they have players across the whole world. And when they had Ramses, they had a CIS player. So like
yeah.
everything is being more global, like multiple nationalities,
Mm-hmm.
I guess. So it's
Uh, so since we're talking about like different regions, we talked to Arms last podcast, and he was talking about how they usually don't scream lower tier, like Division Two tier South American teams because they're obviously playing the same tournament. So he said they usually play Division Two and A teams. Is that the same for your team? Do you guys usually just scream Division One and A teams? How's that going for you?
yeah. Since we got here to Fortaleza, we had the we had the plan to just play NA and play EU pubs in the morning. So we mostly screen NA teams because I feel like they have a better understanding of the game. Even though like I think SA teams, most of them, including like EG, Quincy, they have more mechanical skill than N18s, but N18s they have more strategies and they're smarter about the game. So I
Interesting.
think we learn more playing against N18s because they teach us more about strategies.
Think
I
it's
think
more
we're
about learning than like showing your strategies to if uh, like you're not afraid of showing your strategies, you're just more interested in learning with the teams you think are better.
yeah. It kind of has to be a balance. You can't like
Mm.
only go strategy and forget about the mechanic skills, but yeah, you have to balance both things.
Mhm.
But since we are here in Fortaleza and we have much lower ping than usual, we're being abusing that. So we're playing with lower ping and we're playing mostly N18s.
Oh, so
Yeah.
you can
Right.
actually get decent ping like to US East even.
Yes, exactly. That's the whole point of us moving here.
So what do you guys average, like 60, 70 ping, something like that?
I think it's 80, 78, 80. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's playable. That's not too bad. That's way better than what we were getting 5 years ago at least. So there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Back in my home, I used to play 150 or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess overall thoughts about SA right now, and maybe even specific to Brazil. You guys are the only Brazilian team in the upper division. Is there any additional pressure that comes along with that? As a non-Brazilian, it seems like Brazilian fans are super hardcore in general, not even just in Dota. Like I see it in CSGO, I see it in traditional sports, MMA, all that kind of stuff. What's the fandom like? Do you guys have crazy fucking fans also?
Yeah. The fandom in Brazil is kind of weird because they're like they're kind of harsh sometimes. And
Kinda. They're fucking brutal,
yeah,
mate. They're
yeah,
savage.
They're brutal, savage, and they add a little more pressure because we're only Brazil team. And I feel like sometimes not sometimes, most of the times they really don't know what they're talking about. They tell things how they feel, not like how they don't even think like before saying things to us.
Yeah.
So, but it's always good to have some crew behind us. And yeah, since we're the only Brazil team, been getting a lot of support. Yeah, that's for sure.
I guess it cuts both ways, right? When you lose, they get really mad, but when you win, it's equal but opposite. There's like some serious hype there.
Exactly. Yeah, that's usually Brazil. Like when we win, is like there's a famous expression like "nunca critiquei." They say like "I never doubted you guys," but when they lose, they just start trashing us. Yeah, that's a classic.
Yeah, that sounds about right. But do you feel like South America has been improving? I guess since we've added SA to as an official region that gets representation guaranteed and TI, majors, minors, all that stuff. Have you noticed the region changing over the last 5 years? Do you feel like things are improving? It seems like more players are, at least starting to own their own computers now. It's sort of staggering how few players have the resources to actually play full time. Do you think some of that stuff has been improving?
Yeah, for sure. I think in average, SAs might be even like higher average than NA, like excluding AG, who is like outlier, and Quincy. Most of the SA teams are surpassing mostly NA teams, and especially Peru, obviously. But since just we our team in Brazil, but mostly Peru is like rising up, rising and rising each time higher. And yeah, SA Dota is getting bigger and more competitive for sure.
I'm worried for North America, Bowie. We have no young players. You guys almost have too many young players sometimes, I think, when I see games
I mean,
queued on the
mostly
Peru
Peru,
servers.
dude.
Yeah, that's not the case in Brazil. It's mostly
Yeah.
Peru. That's
Really?
another problem. Yeah,
Okay.
Brazil, like sure there's new people playing, but like it's really hard to a new player come out from complete nowhere and
Mhm.
just start owning. That hasn't happened in a long time.
Yeah, like I think a good example is Arm's team that Infinity that we interviewed last week. They had two 16-year-old players. I think KJ is probably the youngest and like newest Brazilian player I've heard of,
Yeah.
and he's playing with you guys. But overall, there's like not a lot of new blood.
How old is he?
Uh,
Like 18?
No, KJ?
Yeah.
He's
yeah,
21.
21. Okay.
yeah.
So not even that young in the
Yes.
context of Dota
Exactly.
players.
It's just like a new name, I guess. Like
Yeah.
in comparison to everyone else.
Yeah. And I don't know what the solution is to that. I mean, Dota is a game that's so hard to get into and it's not getting easier, right? Every patch we're adding more items, more mechanics. Now we've got these shards for every hero, aggatives upgrades for every hero. Like there's really a lot of data to come in as a new young person looking for a game to play. I see why you might gravitate towards something else.
I think it's most about incentives. Like Brazil, we don't have a lot of incentives. Like either from organizations for people to play, or the money, or the backup, like from people. Like Peru constantly has like LAN tournaments or whatever. They have a lot of yeah, they have a lot of tournaments and a lot of organizations willing to like see if people are gonna be good or not. Like Brazil doesn't really exist that. Like it's really rare to organization pick some young talent and make it work. And Peru has all the time that happens. Like there's
Yeah,
always incentives to young players to go, and maybe that's something happening to NA too, and that has something to do with the community too. I remember the last year about there happened a lot of exposed like tweets and whatever, and people were talking about gatekeepers for NA
hmm
or SA, and I do feel like that happens a lot.
Really?
There's some people in pubs or in the scenario, whatever, they kind of gatekeep other
I
people
see.
from coming up. So it's hard.
Do you
It's
think
not only
it's like
organizations, but
sorry.
the the players themselves. You know?
Do you think it's like an intentional gatekeeping where the players are kind of consciously saying to themselves, like, this is my space. I don't want any new people taking some of my glory? Or do you think it's a little more sort of subconscious, just the emotions of the game? And, you know, some people are just hard to deal with. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it might be both. I think it's both. Like
Okay.
some people don't want to lose their spot, and other people like just feel like threatened. I guess when new people come and like win against them.
Damn.
I don't know. It's just hard.
Yeah, I feel like it's kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy in a way, right? Because Peru probably has a lot of tournaments because there's a lot of players and a lot of like because there are viewers and players, the LAN is viable. But if you don't have the tournaments, then there's not going to be a lot of players. So like, how do you have to kind of like force start? I think like the way they did with SADPC, right? Everyone said all FC teams are garbage, but then when they offered a slot,
Yeah.
we constantly improved, and now like we actually have a better
Right, there's got to be an
environment.
incentive to put your life on hold and go full time on Dota to be able to
Yeah.
compete with the other tier 1 teams that have already been doing that for years. Yeah, I
hmm
agree with you. I guess one thing I don't really understand clearly is why does Peru have such a robust like LAN culture, but Brazil doesn't? Because I made the mistake before of generalizing. I thought it was South America in general that had a lot of LAN culture,
Oh.
but Bowie corrected me that Brazil really is more like North America in that regard, where most people play on their own PCs from home, especially compared to
Yeah.
Peru, where almost everybody plays in LAN cafes, it seems like.
Yeah, it seems like it's a more cultural thing. I feel like I play in LANs when I was really young, but it wasn't that common. Like most most of people just used to play in home. And I guess in Peru, I don't know why that is, but there's a lot of LANs and like I think they call cabineros, something like that. They play a lot in cabinas, and they just
Huh.
they just group up and play someplace. I
hmm
don't
Well,
know why.
there's definitely benefit to that. I mean, I think that is part of what really pushed Southeast Asia to be a major region, especially in like the Philippines, in Malaysia.
hmm
It a lot of it was just economy. People couldn't afford PCs at home, so they went to play in LAN cafes, and then that created this fire of holy shit, I have all these other people I can play with. And I know in Southeast Asia, what people used to do is you go with your 5 friends to a LAN cafe, you find 5 other randoms that play Dota, you challenge them to a best of 3 or whatever, and whoever wins the best of 3 pays for the time in the LAN cafe for the team that won. So
Yeah, especially young talent that we just talked about. It helps young talent to come up in the scene.
yeah. And it's just hype, right? It actually gives you something to rally around. Like you have a community, you have friends. You're not just playing Dota pubs by yourself. You're like actually part of something, even if you're just playing pubs in real life with people.
Yep,
hmm
Yeah.
I feel like that too. Yeah.
Um, can we ask you about a little topical drama, buddy? You want to dive down the drama rabbit hole?
Sure.
I want to ask you about Astini, especially since he's Portuguese. You guys both are Brazilian. I'm sorry. You guys all speak Portuguese. I read his post. I translated it. So I don't know if I understood exactly what happened completely. I don't really know Astini that well, but I was stunned to see him part ways with Bait at this time, given that seeing like Dendy's team crossover with South America to me was such an amazing thing because I've worked with Dendy's team on like a sponsor sales side. It's been very hard. CIS is a tough competitive region. His team's been struggling for a while. They finally looked okay in the lower division. I thought things were going really well. 2 weeks into the first season of DPC, their coach fucking quits and is like, I'm out of here. I can't take this anymore.
Yeah.
So I guess I don't know exactly what my question is. What was your take on this whole thing? Did you read it? Do you have an angle here? Because I feel a little confused.
That's me first or Bowie?
You can go.
You can take a stab first, then we'll let
Yeah?
Bowie go at it.
I think it was mostly internal issues, like not like they're doing bad at screens or the lower division, whatever. I think they had some issues between them, and I think Astini is a really hardworking guy, but at sometimes, like, there's a lot of drama that happens in the tweet between like Brazilian people from the scene, like, and Astini sometimes comes out to me like a hypocrite sometimes because there was like we play a tournament, like a real local tournament that didn't like had any good teams or whatever, and we're supposed to play one team, but the carry of the one team overslept. He didn't wake up for the tournament, and King RD made a post about it on Twitter because that guy was like making fun of King RD or whatever, and Astini called like King RD a hypocrite that if there's like a issue, he shouldn't come out in public like that, and he should like not quote names, whatever.
Should be less emotional and keep it together. Be more professional.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when that happens, the BA drama, he like specifically quoted names, and he like said some persons shouldn't act like that, and so I kind of thought it was hypocrite, and but I feel like he just has something to do with motivation. Like he's hardworking and he wants to make things right, and he feels like his players are not hardworking as much as he is. So that has to be a bad feeling. Like,
that is definitely a bad feeling. I've been in that situation before, and it does suck, and I've been burned out. So I those aspects can be very real. But two things really stood out to me, and Bowie, I'll let you chime in as well. But the way he called out Duster specifically is like, to me as a coach, why would you ever do something like that publicly? That's just optics wise. I don't know how you can do something like that. And I noticed that he wrote in there like, well, I took 24 hours before posting this because I wanted to make sure this wasn't going to be a rage post. And I immediately thought, maybe you should have taken 72 hours, dog.
Yeah.
Like, it's so weird because it's like, obviously he's an introspective guy and he's thinking about like, okay, sometimes emotions run high. I need to check myself. But I think the number was wrong. Sometimes you need a little more time to cool off, go take a holiday, go smoke a cigarette. I don't know. But so anyway, those are the two things that really jumped out to me, even if there are all these underlying issues. Poor Duster. I don't know what's going on with Duster. Maybe he is slacking, but Jesus Christ, man, that's a
even though he might be slacking, like he's a person he worked like so many years with, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I don't know. If that happened to me, I would like not quote names and maybe have some more respect.
I would try to keep it together to the end of the season. I think end of the season, this didn't work out, but like leaving mid-season is rough. That's really
we can't know for sure what happened, right?
Yeah.
We don't know the specific details, but even though he didn't come into the end, like maybe I don't know if the words respect about for Duster or whatever, but like I don't know, maybe. I don't know, let Bowie.
Imagine if I made a blog post about the Dota Pit talent and just said that every other talent was good and then just wrote, and that Bowie guy, he shows up every day and gives 50%, and then just left it there. Just like, guys, there you go.
Fuck that guy.
That would be, even if it's true, that would be such a dick move. I would feel like really weird posting that as like, ugh, anyway.
Yeah, I think, like Astini and I have a history. I think I'm biased to even talk about this issue in the first place, but without even knowing what happened, I agree with you, Zyori. I think it was kind of just a dick move, honestly. If he wants to stay playing, like being a coach and playing Dota, I think he's just burning bridges with friends, Duster, and with Bait in general, right? Because if he just kept, like, if he felt like he was giving to 100%, there was no reason for Bait to part ways with him, right? And
Right.
if the whatever player is the problem, they can fix that in the next season and keep going.
Yeah.
So I agree. It feels kind of hasty. Maybe burned out is the problem there.
Yeah, and I mean, we also have to remember these are Brazilians that have relocated to Ukraine, right? 3 of the members of Bait are from Brazil in Ukraine. That's got to be an adjustment. I mean, that's some culture shock. That's especially during COVID. That you don't have a lot of familiar things. You're stuck inside. You're ordering all this foreign food that you don't like and can't read the fucking menus. It's I mean, I've been there. It's fun, but I think in COVID times it could definitely start to weigh on you, pretty quickly.
Especially the pressure of performing, because they're in a harder region. So, like that has to come in fact too.
Yeah. Even the lower division in CIS is super competitive. Have you watched any of the lower division games in SA there, Costabile?
Yeah, for sure. I have some friends in lower division.
How you feeling? Overall, are you kind of impressed with the quality of the gameplay? Were you thinking it would be a little bit better? What's the take?
I think, like, firstly, before we started, I thought it was gonna be like 0-900, you know that thing, like sweep. I think they would clean sweep everyone, but it's not being like that. They they lost many games and they're hard working. Like, it's not easy. So yeah, it's a surprise for me that a lot of teams, like, there's no clear leader or a better team in lower division, and everyone can take games from each other.
Weirdly enough, so 0-900, every single one of their series, all 3 have gone 2-1, but they've won every single series. So
yeah.
You're right, but they are still 3-0 technically. So they've made it. They've made it work, but it's definitely been sloppy. That's for sure.
Oh yeah. By the way, if you had to give a top 2 for the lower division, Costabile, it would be 0-900 and which other team?
I would like to be Incubus because they're like closer friends for me. Yeah, I'll say Incubus.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Brazil boys.
I think they got it. Yeah, they can just qualify. Yeah.
Yeah, I hope so. They had a really rough series. I forget when it was. They got rocked against somebody, but overall, I thought Incubus looked pretty good. They lost to Hokori in the opener. That might be what I was thinking of.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, that was brutal. I think
they've been recovering since then. So yeah. Hopes that's the case for SG.
Yes, us too. And I guess thoughts in the upper division. Obviously, I think you guys would expect yourselves to be top 2 and to be moving on to the major. But who are like your other kind of who else would you expect to maybe be top 2 contenders in this upper division if you were a betting man, so to speak?
Yeah, before I started, I thought Thunder Predator was gonna be the best team, but they lost their first game to Infamous. And Beast Coast has been looking pretty hot, so I think I think should be between Beast Coast and Thunder. And obviously we already lost to Thunder, and we'll have to like win every other game. And I think we can do it. We just have like to focus on ourselves. I think it doesn't matter like which team we go up against. We just have to focus on our game, like just play our own game. Like Beast Coast does. Like they just play their own game. They don't care who they're against. They're always gonna play the same way. They have the comfort zone. Yeah.
I think that's a good strat. Play to your strengths. We are very much looking forward to the SG versus Beast Coast series, and I don't think that one's scheduled yet, right? So that's going to be like week 5, week 6.
Our next game is against Infamous on Wednesday.
Okay.
So,
You guys have 2 games this week, right?
Yeah, should be pretty hype.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Very good. And that does remind me real quick, I guess, before we wrap up, a lot of players have been sort of critical of this first version of DPC because there just aren't enough games. What are your thoughts? Would you like to see some more games on the schedule?
Things like a brutal change from last year, like the pandemic tournaments. There's like shit ton of games, right? There's like 5 best of threes in one day, and the tournament would end in just like 4 days. And like Quincy would play against Four Zooms or whatever, like 3 times in the same tournament,
Yeah.
and in the same week they play against each other again. So it's like crazy that they changed that. So yeah, I think there's not much to do. You just have to accept it, and you just have to treat every game like it's a like TI final because
Mm-hmm.
every game matters. Like you can
Mhm.
win against Beast Coast or Infamous and lose to another team, and like you still like lose like points.
Yeah.
So it
Yeah.
doesn't matter which against team. Like you just have to win every game. So that's the hard part. So I think it's better maybe for the viewers because people are gonna put much more effort in each game. Like each game matters so much
Yeah.
that you have to play for your life.
I mean,
Yeah.
a lot of the English viewers, of course, kind of make fun of the English stream that's covering South America for not having a large amount of viewers. But I've seen and been told that the viewership for the Portuguese and Spanish streams have been like record setting levels of fantastic so far for this DPC, like 40, 50, 60K concurrence for upper division.
Especially because Spanish mostly is in Facebook, I think.
Yeah,
Like it's not on
Yeah.
Twitch.
exactly.
So there's a lot of viewers on Facebook that we don't know about.
Yep.
Yeah.
And maybe YouTube as well. I think at least one of
Yeah,
the
YouTube.
studios does a YouTube stream. Maybe they do the multiple platform thing, but yeah, it's definitely a fallacy to judge it based on the English audience. You know, you got to remember that watching those European matches, really English is the primary broadcast, and in South America, the South American language are kind of the primary broadcasts.
Yeah, especially
Mhm.
because I think that doesn't happen. Like most of cast on English is Twitch, but it's not on Facebook or on YouTube. Like so, sure, there's some cast on YouTube and Facebook, but mostly it's on Twitch.
Mhm.
So like in SA, it's kind of the other way around.
Yeah.
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 Well, I guess just to wrap it up a little bit, we were talking about the whole Astini drama, and I was kind of pitching a friend of mine that is a coach to bait Dandy's team. And so I messaged him, and Dandy answered saying they're still with Astini.
Oh,
So yeah, not sure if they
Huh.
made peace with each other or something. But
Wow.
yeah,
seems
Well,
like because he was like a goodbye letter from Astini, so maybe they came back. Yeah.
yeah.
oh
I mean, and this is maybe common knowledge, but Dendi is one of the nicest, most level-headed, reasonable people I've ever met, like by a strong margin. So if there's a guy who can forgive and forget and find a constructive way to move forward, it's Dendi. So I think I could see a world where if Astini and the crew are willing, they could definitely patch it up. And because that's the thing, like even for the other players, you don't want to lose your coach. It's hard to find another coach in the middle of the season. And
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, coaches are delicate, right? The players have to respect them. The coach has to have the right tone of being sort of firm, but also not being too bossy. Coaching a tier 1 team is, or even a tier 2 team is really a challenging kind of job.
Yeah.
So
Especially when he has been coach for like 3 years or something for them, for
yeah,
the 3 players, Brazilian players. So
mhm.
losing like one day from another, like it changed a lot. Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. Well, I hope it works out for him. I wish him only the best. Those are the kind of dramas that really I was just more surprised than anything else. Like, wow, this was not something I expected. In the if we were running a gamble on when does the first coach drop out of the first season of DPC, I would have said none of them are dropping out, dude. It's DPC. This is serious business. What are you talking about? So
Yeah.
pretty
Yeah.
surprising news overall.
Maybe he made peace with Duster. Who
Yeah.
knows?
Well, that'd be
Mhm.
good. That'd be good. All right. Well, I think we're pretty close to wrapping up here. Costabile, anything else you want to get out there? Anything you want to get off your chest? Any shout outs or open table, buddy? You know, this is a blank canvas here. No limits.
Yeah, I was just like tell our fans or whoever's watching, like we had a rough game yesterday, but we're not like here for no reason. We been working a lot the entire week, so it hits like us like much more because it feels like the entire week went to waste. But it obviously wasn't like that. We've been working very hard, and for all the SG fans, we're gonna come back stronger and we try our best. Yeah.
Nice.
All right.
Very good.
Cool.
We believe. We're excited. I think, don't tell anybody, but our panel is secretly a little biased for the one Brazilian represented team in the upper division. So,
Nice.
we're sending
Vamos.
positive energy, buddy. Vamos. We're always excited to see you guys play. Good Luck versus Infamous. That's coming up on February 3rd. The next upper division match in week 3. So mark your schedules, folks. That's going to be a big one. And we'll see if Brazil can do it. Make sure you give Costabile a follow. Are you streaming or anything? Are you on Twitter and all that stuff? Let's plug some social media here.
I'm on Twitter and I'm on Twitch. I don't stream that much, but I'll try to do some more. I streamed last week. I pretend to maybe do some more after the Infamous game. So, and Twitter, both are Costabile Dota. So
Okay.
both
Very
of them.
nice. There you go. So, folks, you know where to find him. Give him a follow. This man has been around for a long time. From Heroes of New Earth to Dota 2. This guy's a MOBA master. He's a serious fucking grinder. He's a guy to look out for. So, buddy, again, thanks for coming on. We appreciate it, and good luck.
Thank you.